Canada versus UK, fight! Hey guys, it's Brian back at you with another video, and today we answer a question from Yasser, and he asks, should I choose a UK university, Warwick, or a Canadian university, U of T, UBC, or McGill for better job opportunity? Thank you Yasser for sending me that question. I really appreciate that. So this is a very common question. Let's get to it. Number one, you want to think about what does your employer have in mind in terms of their expectations for your education. For some of you, you might not know yet what you want to do. But for those of you that have an idea of where you want to go, maybe you want to work in a tech company, maybe you want to get into commerce, maybe you want to work for the pharmaceutical industry, reach out to those companies and ask them whether they care about which university you go to or which universities that you should stay away from. The point being here is that you really want to think about the end in mind. You really want to know what the other people that are hiring you are going to expect of you, or whether they even care about which university or college you decide to go to. Number two, what is the reputation of the university or college that you're considering? Brand recognition from a brand reputation standpoint, which has higher regard, which is held in a higher pedestal. That's something you might want to consider as well. However, three, what are the financial costs? What are the tuition fees like? Who's paying for your tuition? Is it you? Are you going to be working part-time? And the point of all this, I don't want to see you spending 15 years after you graduate trying to pay off your student loans. It's important to make sure that you set things up right for you from the get-go. And so if you want to choose a more expensive school, make sure that you can absolutely afford it. Number four, let's say you do want to work part-time. Well, is the college or university that you're looking at situated close to or in the heart of the city, or is it fairly secluded? And the point being here is that, is it easy for you to get a part-time job? Is it easy for you to commute to that part-time job? So if you are in a university that is very close to a lot of retail shops, a lot of restaurants, a lot of coffee shops, you know that you can get something in the service industry or something in the retail sector just to help you pay through your tuition fees. If you happen to be one of the students that are thinking about working your way through school, you need to get a part-time job, you don't know how to do that, you want to download my ebook. It's called The Unfair Advantage. That will really give you a head start as to how to approach employers and how to do your interviews properly and how to negotiate for a salary. Number five, are there any language barriers? If you were to apply for these jobs, can you communicate with your employer? Can you interview well? And more importantly, can you communicate with the consumers, with the customers? This is absolutely key. So if you speak English and you move into a city that speaks French, that might be something you want to consider. Number six, what's the employment situation like after you graduate? Let's say you go to the chosen university or college and you fall in love with that city. You really like it. Maybe you found a boyfriend or a girlfriend that you really love and you want to start a new life with. Next question is, can you stay in that city? Is that city thriving? Is it growing? Is it developing? Does it have a strong industry that you want to get into? Are they hiring? And finally, number seven, do you plan on doing any postgraduate studies? Do you want to do your master's or do you want to get a PhD? And chances are, if you do, you'll probably want to move to a different institution. In my opinion, that's really where it matters. You really want to choose the right institution when you're doing your postgraduate studies because your resources, your network, that's key. And that's dependent on the best schools. Getting your undergrad, in my opinion, it doesn't matter as much. And I think at this stage of the game, students moving into college, going into their first year, probably think it does matter which university or college they go to. 10 years from now, 15 years from now, if you're only going to get your bachelor's, probably really won't make a huge difference. You're going to have a lot more other factors that play a more significant role into your success versus which university or college you went to. One thing that I find interesting is that when I'm talking to my students about which college or university they want to get into, they also consider things like what the weather is like in that particular city, or how nice that campus is, or the quality of teaching. And while those factors I get, let's say you are choosing between two very highly regarded universities, your parents are paying for tuition, you don't plan on getting a part-time job, and you can speak the language in that particular city, well, it doesn't matter. At that point, either school is going to be good. What determines your success at that point is what you do with the education that you have And there's a lot more other variables that go beyond just choosing the right school. Where you go, for the most part, assuming that all the other variables I've talked about are equal, it really doesn't matter. You have a pretty safe bet. Either school is going to work out just fine. So that's it, Yasser. I hope I answered your question. If you have any further questions, you know where to hit me up. And for the rest of you viewers, please go to my website, 101mentoring.com. You can send me your questions to me and I'll answer them in a future video as well. Just a heads up, guys, I have brand new products called the Migration Method. This is brand new. It's a video course. Teach you how to define yourself away from your competition. So let's say you're gunning for that new sales position and you have very little sales experience and you're competing with a whole bunch of other people that have a lot of sales experience. What can you do to make yourself different? How do you stand out of that crowd? That's what I talk about. That's what the Migration Method teaches you to do. And it's only $10. I really wanted to create something that was affordable for those of you that can't do the video mentoring or can't do email mentoring. I've created these new products exactly for you. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.